How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffle Rowlett, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. Today we have a lot, and I mean really a lot of information, guys. So, Serebii actually has the most info here, so if you want to know all things about Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee that are brand new, that we just got information about, then go and watch, or just go to Serebii and check out his website and read it on your own. If you don't want to listen to my video, I'll break down everything. Every single tweet that goes through the information, every single website post, and if it repeats information, I'll just kind of skip through the parts that are repeating. But we'll start from here, guys, where PokeExperto kind of gave a breakdown in general, like some base info about these games that he kind of went through here. Then, of course, there was a bit of gameplay that was shown earlier today, which actually shows how it looks like, you know, when, like, a little bit of an interaction with your Pokemon, which does look adorable. I've got to be honest, it looks cute. Not going to deny that. It does look adorable. Just saying. Eevee is a cute Pokemon. Just all I'm going to say. But there's a cute little, like, short video of the menu to interact with Eevee and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. And today, this guy was also tweeting that many YouTubers around the world or over Europe are going to be visiting Pokemon offices in London to play the new area of Pokemon Let's Go. And we'll be getting a bunch of news. And that is what happened today. All the information came out, and we have a general rundown right here. New details of Pokemon Let's Go. It is confirmed that there are no abilities in the game. It is confirmed that you cannot equip objects in Pokemon, which means just items. It is not clear if there are IVs and EVs, but it is probable. The story is very similar to Amarillo, which is yellow. The game is more about capturing Pokemon than fighting. And then a little bit more breakdown up here. More details of Pokemon Let's Go. The Pikachu and Eevee teammates could have better base stats than a regular Pikachu and Eevee. The basic power of Eevee's special attacks is 90, and they can also burn, paralyze, and recover. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like PSS4, poison or something, I don't know. Personalization from the start, which means you can actually customize the Pokemon from the start, that is what I assume. Important details of Pokemon Let's Go. It seems that you can only play with the control of Joy-Con movements. There is no tactical options. I'd warm up the muscles, which means I guess that when you're throwing the Pokeballs and that sort of stuff, you'll have to do it with the Joy-Cons, which is going to be really weird, and I mean, I'm really curious to how that's going to work, but I guess we'll have to, and the gyroscope and stuff, it's going to be interesting. So, let's read what Serebii says, because I think Serebii goes into it the best right here with all this info. So if you guys want to read it on your own, I'll link it down below as per usual. But let's get started here. So I'll zoom a little bit in because it is really small text. So let's get started from the start here. Today, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company International were kind enough to allow me to play 2 hours at the start of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. And I'm able to share everything that I experienced while playing the games. In the game demo, I was only able to play through the first 2 hours, back to the end of Brock's Gym in Pewter City. This meant that there wouldn't be as much exploring, but could truly show the elements of the game. It continues on much like Pokemon Yellow does, as you would suspect, with the progression that we know, going from Palatown through Viridian City and up to the gym after Viridian Forest. There was then a small demo in Route 6 to showcase local cooperative play. First, mechanically, the battles work pretty much exactly the same as previous main series Pokemon games, with the physical and special split remaining intact. IVs fully appear to be within the game, but with a limited time with the early part of the game, it is impossible to completely determine if IV spreads are identical to how they were in games since Ruby and Sapphire. EVs are a different story. At present, it's hard to say what the situation is with the EVs, and after some battles, an additional +1 appears in one stat such as speed or attack, but this +1 is also added with a candy obtained from transferring Pokemon. As many people have speculated through various demos and videos, there are no held items in the game, and no option to make a Pokemon hold an item, which means no held items, which means we won't be able to use, like, you know, leftovers and that sort of stuff. This means that many of the items you come to expect, such as Choice Band, cannot be found. In addition to this, abilities also aren't in the game. The experience is definitely weighted more towards capture than battle. You typically seem to earn more XP, experience points, catching Pokemon, but you will get bonuses if it's a new Pokemon, quality of capture, and so forth. Synchronizing capture with a second player locally also boosts the experience bonus. So essentially, if you just take 2 Joy-Cons and you co-op with yourself, you can essentially boost your you can literally speed through this game in no time, which would be pretty interesting. Capture is relatively simple. There's a lure item that lasts for a few minutes, which increases... Oh, please don't tell me there's lures in this game. I hate lures in Pokemon Go. I'm just saying. Like, if they make it work, because I think they will make it work here. Lures in Pokemon Go are awful. I'm just saying. I've tried using them, and I never get enough Pokemon to, spawn. What is it, like, one Pokemon every 5 minutes or something? It's pretty shitty, if I'm going to be honest. I never like using them. I'd rather just walk around for an hour and catch more Pokemon that way in different areas than have to wait for a lure to work, or even, like, an instance or whatever they're called. But if I think this is not going to be the same thing as Pokemon Go. In Pokemon Go, you're probably going to get less Pokemon showing up, but this way it could work really well. And this could make for some good shiny hunting. If you use these lures to lure in Pokemon, eventually you could probably lure in a shiny as well, which would be pretty awesome. So I do like this if it works better than it does in Pokemon Go. That's all I'm asking for. As long as it works better than Pokemon Go, we will be fine. And I do like it because it will be good for shiny hunting, and I really want to shiny hunt in this game because I think it'll be fun maybe, with a different sort of method and a different sort of style if it ends up being, a thing that is viable. But let's see what else is said here. As many people have speculated that, okay, let's see, we were actually down at right here. Capture with a second player locally also boosts experience bonus. Capture is relatively simple. There's a lure item that lasts for a few minutes, which increases while Pokemon spawns, and PINAP berries will increase chance of finding an item after catching a Pokemon. These items are typically berries. Let's see, so they're typically berries, and right here, the capture element is much the same as in previous demos, but being able to see the Pokemon was a much more refreshing experience, allowing the players to try to avoid wild encounters if they are so inclined. The wild encounters do seem to provide a bit more experience than traditional trainer battles. Pokemon also react differently to you based on species. Some are docile, while others charge at you, or Abra will teleport away if it spots you, which is cool. That's awesome. I thought they weren't going to do anything like that, because, like, usually with Abra, it teleports in battle, but this time around, if it spots you, it's going to actually teleport on its own away in the world. That is actually freaking awesome. Now, I'm trying to be as positive as possible here in this video, because I know you guys have said to me, like, man, chill with the negativity, or people that do actually, agree with some of the negative thoughts I've had, they're just like, yeah, whatever, you're right. But, like, at the same time, I want to give these games a chance and not just be, like, doom and gloom just from all the time, and I want to give, like, these games an actual shot, and this information isn't too bad. It's good to know what these games are, and I think it's kind of come down to it, the fact which, I'll read later on here what actually Joe says about these games and what his thoughts are. So let's continue here. The trainer battles also end with Pokeballs being given in order to continue capture. Despite my best efforts, I couldn't quite determine the mechanics behind comboing Pokemon. I got to a combo of 13 with a Caterpie, but can't say for sure if I boosted any IVs or did any further capture chances. A combo is broken if the Pokemon flees, or whatever. Combat points are in the game. Much like Pokemon Go, and like Pokemon Go, they are just quick visual representations of the stats of a Pokemon taking, which is, CP. Oh boy. Okay, so it's a quick visual representation of the stats of a Pokemon taken on the Pokemon's level, stats, and any stat boosts. The base power of Eevee's Sizzly Slide, Bouncy Bubble, and Buzzy Buzz moves is 90. Oh boy. Jesse, James, and Meowth appear only in Viridian City. However, they just replaced the old man who needed his coffee who then shows you how to catch Pokemon. You still won't battle them until Mount Moon, as shown in the information release in June at E3. You need to have a grass or water type Pokemon before entering Pewter City Gym. However, this is only needed to first enter it and isn't required in actual team for when you are battling against Brock and his other gym trainers. So any phase of ridiculously easy hand-holding difficulty can be laid to rest. That is good, but I still find it weird. Like, actually, no, I think it's fine. Because think of it like a little bit of a quest, right? They're telling you, it's kind of annoying that they would tell you exactly what to do. I do find that I would prefer if they didn't tell you need to do this, or if they made the challenge something that doesn't actually benefit you in this gameplay, like, rather, like, hey, look, if you want to take on this gym, you need to have a certain amount of Pokemon, or, do this sort of thing, or do this amount of captures, because at least then you'll be interacting more with the gameplay mechanics in the game that have been added, because we don't have wild encounters now. So maybe, try to utilize this catch mechanic as much as possible, because a lot of people will be skipping through and trying to avoid as much as possible of the gameplay when it comes to catching Pokemon, just to kind of progress through the game as fast as possible, which is gonna happen. People will try to speed through the game as much as they can, and it seems like this is the sort of game that we can actually do it in, especially when you start a Pokemon. The Pokemon that you own are pretty, they're pretty strong. They're very freaking strong. Pikachu and Eevee are definitely super strong. But as you mentioned, you get the most XP, or as mentioned right here, you do get the most experience from catching Pokemon with the Pokeballs, which is kind of an expected thing. I think we all saw that coming. Which is interesting, but like I wonder then, like when it comes to trainer battles, like how do they fit in well here? Like do they kind of combo well with everything else in the game, like just the capture mechanic? Does it combo well with that, or does it make them kind of obsolete in this sort of game? Whereas it feels more like a Pokemon Go game rather than a main series game. Now Joe did give a response to that, but then again, I'm still curious. But we'll also read what he said specifically about the question I just asked. You get given the first customization option, the sportswear matching the default outfit of the trainer by the rival sister as you leave Pallet Town. Okay, so do you get a map? I'm really curious too. Items are grouped into multiple categories. Your Pokemon box is in your bag as you capture items such as berries and balls, healing items, battle items, and guard spec, and megastones, candy, and so forth. With this, you can also have items from other categories outside the main item list, such as lures, town map. Okay, cool. Fossils and other key or miscellaneous items. Okay, cool. What else do we have here? There was also some play of the support player function where a second player can play in the game. Their following Pokemon is a second in your party, and you share the same 6 Pokemon for the battle. In this mode, the second player also can't interact with items, wild Pokemon, or trainers. Overall, the game is clearly a main series Pokemon game, just with a few tweaks to lure in the uninitiated audience. It's not the competitive game, so players won't be... so players want, but it's at its soul a true Pokemon game. Overall, the game is done now. Okay, all of the gameplay we had was recorded, and we'll be able to post our exclusive gameplay as soon as we can, probably later this week, so we can be sure to check them back. Cool, and I'll be checking that gameplay out once it drops, guys. I'll be checking it out. I'll be sharing with you guys. I'll give my thoughts, a little bit of feedback, breakdown, all that stuff. So yeah, it was also posted here on Pokemon Millennium. Our YouTube content creator Francesco Silzuro, also known as on the web as Sidonia, is currently playing the full version of the games at the headquarters in the Pokemon Company International in London. This implies to our gameplay the possibility of to share every content of it, as agreed with the Pokemon Company Incorporated. All participants are allowed to test the full versions until the first gym. After having the chance to try the full version, despite the absence of abilities, natures, and stab moves, despite the absence of abilities, natures and stab moves will be featured in the games. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. As well as held item. No. This is wrong. What? This is confusing, right? Because we just read that held items are not in the game. So wait, does that mean abilities are not in the game, natures are not in the game, stab moves are not in the game, and held items aren't in the game? That's what this sounds to me like then. Oh boy, that's bad. Okay. The last one will have a dedicated slot in the bag, even though specific in-game items have not been announced yet. Moreover, the main storyline seems to be different. To be different if compared to with Yellow, new events. Okay, this is contradicting everything that we just read on Serebii. So I don't know, man. Okay, I guess we'll kind of skip through this one because Millennium had a short version, and maybe that's a poorly translated one that I'm reading. But yeah, so Serebii kind of went into, like, Serebii, just all the posts are here, kind of breaking everything down. You guys can read it on their website, as I mentioned earlier. And there's actually a new tweet here, so let's see what everything he says is. So here we go. Personal thoughts, thought time. I know people don't want to hear it, but I enjoy my time with Let's Go. It's a fun main series game, and any Pokemon fan who doesn't just care about competitive will likely enjoy it. The presentation is sublime. The game plays well. The battle system is the battle system just without hold items and abilities. It's not like those will be gone forever. The game is going to be a fun thing this winter. It's not for everyone. Yes, not a competitive game, and it isn't trying to be a competitive game. For that we have next year. If it wasn't for our knowledge that next year will be a traditional game, I too would be worried. And that is true. That's the same thing I was saying a while back. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that I knew we were getting a game next year, I would be 100% okay with these. Like, I would be scared. Sorry, I would be scared. If I didn't know there was a game next year coming out that's a traditional normal Pokemon game, then I would be scared. I would be really worried. But since we know there is a normal Pokemon game coming out next year, the worries are way less. Like, the worries are off from me. I'm not as worried about these games. I'm actually kind of not excited, but a little bit intrigued and kind of want to try them out and give them a shot. I will give them a shot, and I will criticize them, and I will give them a proper review and not just bandwagon on a hype train or a hate train. I am kind of on the split here. I wanted to kind of try out these games because they look intriguing, though I am tired of Kanto. I still kind of want to, try this out and see how it feels and all that stuff. And then once I've done that, I will give my final opinion. Once I play the games, fully played them on live stream, finish the full games, I'll give my general thoughts. However, now that I've had an extended time with the game, I can see what they are getting at. It's for new players and those who enjoy the overall franchise. It's just not competitive, which is fair enough. It was already said that the VGC and all that stuff will be kept in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and we won't be getting that stuff specifically for this game. This game will be not used for any competitive stuff. It'll be just a side thing. Because they know that there's a lot of us who just, want a more competitive Pokemon game and not just a super casual one. And hey, if you don't want this game, just don't buy it. Just wait until Smash. Buy Smash instead. Or if you don't want Smash, then just wait until next year. I know it's a long time to wait, but that's just how it is. To be fairly honest, hey, at least we're getting something this year. I would have preferred if they took the development time and gave extra development time to the other game they're working on, 2019 game, rather than putting this out. But hey, at least we're getting something this year. Though I do not appreciate the price boost, which I'm going to be honest about. I'm trying to be as positive as possible here, but I still have a lot of negatives that I want to still pull out there. And my biggest negative is that the increase in price doesn't warrant what you're getting in return. That's my big problem. You're asking for more money for less content in general, as far as I can tell. Now, I could be wrong, because there could be a good post game, but based on the fact that, like, Joe Merrick here is saying that it's not a super competitive game, then it's unlikely, based on how Masuda's thinking is going lately, ever since like 2013, 2014, or maybe like 2012, I guess, whereas he wants to kind of like not add in features that people want, because according to him, people don't play through games and they don't want to, get those extra features, according to what he said. And I do not agree whatsoever with Masuda there. We wanted the Battle Frontier, and we didn't get it in ORAS, and that pissed people off. A lot of people got pissed off. I think majority of people who hated, ORAS was specifically because of the lack of the actual Battle Frontier. So that should kind of just tell you what the issue is here. When you remove features, we will get pissed off, and when you give us less features, it's a problem, and especially when you're charging more for these things now. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see how these games turn out. I feel like this is a one-time play. You will play it like one time through, and that's kind of it in terms of like general gameplay. If there is a good post-game and the Wi-Fi battles are fun, then hey, there is some sort of post-game still there for you guys to do. If the shiny hunting is interesting and there are more than one method to it, then that would be great as well. But so far, based on what we've seen, I guess a good way to hunt now will be probably with lures and stuff, and I can't really think of any other way to do it. But let's go. So he said, I admit I did get sidetracked shiny hunting in my playthrough. Alas, I did not get one this time. Fair enough. I'll answer this with a tweet to put it out there. And he's responding to somebody saying, do you think people who like casual, non-competitive playing, but at the same time don't enjoy Go, will enjoy the game? Then he says, this game is far more main series than it is Go. Yes, wild encounters are different, but they're different to Go too. I don't know about that personally, based on what I've seen, but then again, you've played it, so I'll take your word for it. Let's see. Make no mistake, I still have a trepidation over possible carryovers to Gen 8, but the time I spent has helped me realize this is a fun game, just not for competitive players. I think one thing we have as dedicated players, we as dedicated players don't realize is how daunting the entire Pokemon system is to the uninitiated and could put new players off. This takes it back to almost Gen 1 simplicity. While keeping many modern mechanics, it's a stepping stone for new players. Fair enough, but I feel like still personally looking at it from like my point of view, it still looks like it's slightly easier than other Pokemon games with just a few whistles and bells and whatnot, like they're just kind of in between. Then again, I can't say that because I still have not played the game, and I will play it and then I'll give my full opinion. But hey, I trust Joe Merrick. He says, it's still a daunting feeling because there is the scary feeling of this kind of carrying over to next year's game. Like, if Let's Go is a one-time thing, right? It's a one-time game, it happens, and then, we move to the next deal, right? We're done with Let's Go, cool. Let's go over to, the things that we like seeing in Pokemon, as people who aren't just casual players, the thing that we kind of want for dedicated so many years of and so much money, in this franchise, we want to see the things that we enjoy, which has been all these other things, these competitive mechanics and all this stuff, and hopefully, it will turn out nicely when we see it next year. And I understand this. He's not wrong here. I remember when I jumped into Pokemon again, like into the competitive scene, and it was very confusing. There was a lot of things to keep track of. Learning all the things about each Pokemon and how to, oh, this needs to have this ability and this nature and blah 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 blah. There's so many things to keep track of. So I can agree with this, but at the same time, this is also kind of what's built up Pokemon to what it is today. These mechanics. But hey, a simplification of them is fine for a game that's supposed to initiate new people into Pokemon. So if Let's Go is a one-off game that just does its job, which is to pull in new fans and then push those fans towards Generation 8, then I am totally on board and I'm totally fine with it and I'm so okay with it. But as long as it doesn't affect Gen 8, like Joe said here, because I 100% agree with Joe, as long as it doesn't affect Gen 8, I think we should be fine and there should not be too many worries. But yeah, guys, that's the general information. That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. My name's been Ruffled Rowlet. I'll see you all the next time. Have a great day and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.